Congratulations, Randy. I'm so excited for you. It's been a journey, man. And I just look back to where you started in this office and where you've left it. And I'm just astounded at the amount of work that you put in, the change that you've made, not just in the office, but in the city, and especially in the lives of all the people you touched along the way. It's been my honor to serve with you in a variety of capacities. I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you, man. And I just love you. It's been just such an honor and a pleasure being your friend and partner along this crazy, crazy journey. I'm standing in front of Langston Hughes right now. Who would have thought back in 2012, 13, 14 that we'd be standing here today? But it's just another tribute to the influence and the impact that you've had. Your leadership, your model, your example as a father, as a husband, as a boss, as a board member. I can't even add up all the ways that you've impacted my life and the lives of my family, my coworkers, my staff, and my friends. So thank you. Good luck on all your next endeavors. And I'm here for you, man. Love you. Bye.
This video is a thank you video to Randy. First of all, I would probably say in the 16 years that I've lived in Seattle, Randy's been there for, gosh, at least a good, my math is bad, but probably a good 95% of that time. I met Randy, I want to say, very early in my time in Seattle. And it was so wonderful to meet another Chicagoan. He had another Davita in his life, Davita Russell. And one of the things I immediately noticed about Randy is that he cared about Black women. And that's been a life-giving gift. And I think about his precious daughter, and I like Randy's heart. Maybe not most of all, but I see Randy's heart, and I see his goodness, and I love his Leo leadership skills. And I love that he's a leader who believes in other leaders. So people like Lara and Elishaba and Ricky and Calandra and Irene. Gosh, I could go down the line of people that his nurturing approach to leadership is appreciated, and the leaders that have been in his realms too are folks that I love and depend on for my happiness in Seattle. When the pandemic hit, he was part of how I was thinking about how do we have a Calvary, and so I called him, and we ended up doing some work that I think is probably some of the most important work that I have done in the 44 years that I've been on this planet. And I know it happened because of the person that Randy is. Randy, at the end of the day, cares about his community. He cares about if it's enough love and connection in the room. And he loves creativity. And that's a world I always want to live in. One of the things that Randy told me that I'm going to hold him to, Randy, I'm looking at you, I'm going to hold you to this. You said that your love would stay in Seattle. And the reality is, physically, you can't hold people to staying in one place. We move. But I would say the city has changed because of you. I remember going to meetings where I couldn't imagine the 12th Avenue Arts could exist. I definitely remember you helping me when I'd done an art project at King Street Station, and I asked, could this be a more community-friendly place? And look at it, it is. I think the work of Seattle Together has Randy's fingerprint on it. And Man, I just love you. I love you. I love your family. I love the types of things that you do in the world. Um, I'm going to miss seeing you in those meetings, but I know where to find you. And so, thank you, thank you, thank you for being an amazing human. I love you very much and just appreciate you. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, what's up, Randy? It's your brother Pac. You know, ever since we met at Youngstown and you first opened up those doors for TS Band, you've been opening up doors ever since for our city, for arts and culture, for young people, our community. And we know this is just a transition and you're going to continue to open doors and we're going to continue to see you around town and work on awesome projects together. We know that. But man, I recently started working on a new song and oddly enough, it kind of hits on some of the feels you might be feeling in this moment. So I thought I'd share it for you, my brother. Much love.
Hey, what you doing? Looks like you ain't coming around no more. Why I leaving? Seems like we hit something good. Oh yeah. Last night I told you as we sat by the fire, just how you make me feel. You said we'd meet across the street from the station, so I sit there alone in the rain. I wanna see you again. Don't want this moment to end. Don't want this moment to end. I wanna see you again. I wanna see your face again. Don't want this moment to end. I wanna see you again.
We love you, Randy. See you soon.
Hey, what a beautiful song from
Oh.
Daniel Hawk. Amazing. And also thank you so much, Tim Lennon and C. Davita Ingram, for your beautiful comments to kick off our pre-show. And now we're in the real show. What's up, Priya? How you feeling?
I'm feeling so many emotions, and I'm so grateful and honored to get to be here for such a special moment. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, same. I obviously wish that we could be together IRL, but as the pandemic continues to take its course and we continue to flow with it all, I'm just glad that we can have this virtual space together. We already have 61 people tuned in, so please, hello everybody. Drop a little hello in the chat. Let us know where you're at, how you're feeling. So yeah, first of all, Priya, I'm loving this vest that you're wearing.
Oh, well, thank you. Just, a casual nod to the Randy vest. This is the best I could do. It's a fur version, but this is a physical tribute to Randy and his notable vests. I think you might have a little tribute as well. Can you show us?
I was really hoping that we could get a real vest moment popping, but there's literally no vest at the house, but I did get a little like bow tie moment going on right now to just in a nod to a vintage Randy moment. I'd say like
Exactly.
when he was pulling up to City Hall 8.5 years ago when he started as director of the Office of Arts and Culture, he was probably rocking a bow tie. So anyway, we are here today, myself and Priya, to welcome you all here for a virtual farewell and celebration of Randy Engstrom, who has for the last 8+ years been the director of the Office of Arts and Culture, and advanced the work of the office so tremendously, fostered leadership, fostered community ownership. And now as he's transitioning on to the next chapter, we are here in recognition and celebration of his work. And Priya, would love if you could introduce our first speaker.
Yeah, definitely. So my name's Priya Frank. I work at the Seattle Art Museum. I'm a former Seattle Arts Commissioner. And before we get started, we'd like to play this very special message from Ken Workman, a member of the Duwamish tribe, as we recognize that we are on Indigenous land, the traditional territories of the Coast Salish people.
Hello, Randy. It's your friend Ken Workman coming to you from the banks of the Snoqualmie River. Da. My name is Workman, at the Dawabs of the Duwamish tribe. And great grandson of Chief Seattle. Nascudita Chatasiaya Randy called Dagwahiko Ya use Baktea Putcuts. I'm just in the state of thanking you, my friend Randy, in our own native language for all the work that you've done in Seattle all these years. And that you should know that you're always welcome in Seattle. Read the Siaya. Read Ateapad. Ata Seattle. You are always welcome in Seattle, my friend. Yet once again, I'd like to say thank you. Kuyi de Siaya. Thank you, my friend.
It was so beautiful.
Thank you so much for starting off our program. So as I mentioned, so first of all, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Hollis Wong-Wear. I'm a musician, singer, and songwriter. And I've also had the opportunity to collaborate with Seattle Arts and the Seattle Together team over the last year to think about creative visioning and recovery for the city of Seattle. So I am excited for this event because I think it's really an opportunity for us to collectively honor the impact that Randy has made on us as individuals and on us as a Seattle community. So I really encourage the folks, now we got 89 people tuned in, to answer this prompt and drop your answer in the chat. If you're tuned in and Randy has made an impact on you, please let us know what impact has Randy made on you and your community. So Priya, what impact has Randy made on you?
So I was actually thinking about when I first met Randy. He came to speak to my class at UW-Bothell when I was in the cultural studies program, and he was working at Youngstown. And I remember thinking, wow, I want his job. Little did I realize that, just a few years later, I'd be working alongside him through the Arts Commission, and the amazing impact that he would make in my life. Just his leadership style, the way he talks about and makes city and policy like so much more accessible and brings a human side, because where that comes from is his sort of support, love, and advocacy for the arts and the people that are in it. And so he was such a conduit and connector for so many folks, and actually like humanized government for me, if that is even possible, but he did. And so I have just been so blessed and nurtured by his leadership and mentorship. How about you, Hollis?
I love that. I think humanizing government is the way that it should be, because government is allegedly comprised of humans. So I think that's incredible and such an impact. And look at you, civic leader, catapulted into being a policy leader in the city of Seattle. Okay. So yeah, I mean, my impact really, or the impact that Randy made on me rather, started when I was, I think, 19 or 20 years old. Randy came up to me after I had performed a spoken word poetry piece at an open mic. And he was like, "Are you interested in interning at a cultural arts center?" And I was like, "I don't know, like a job. I can't even imagine. I've only ever worked in restaurants." And I didn't really know anything about arts administration or arts leadership or what the world and the whole ecosystem was that resourced and provided the scaffolding and the infrastructure for arts to exist and thrive. Randy really, for me, made me feel that I could be both an art practitioner and an art policy advocate in a way that emboldened me to serve on boards and serve on commissions in a way that I didn't necessarily see other artists doing. And it made me more passionate about building a bridge, because I really do feel like, and I think Randy instilled in me the confidence that creative should be at the center of policy change when it comes to especially the creative community, but the communities in general that we work in and operate in. We have the creativity, we have the resources, we know resilience through and through, and we should be centered, and creatives' voices should be centered. So thank you, Randy, for planting that seed in me and always nurturing it. We have such cool answers right here, and we'll go over them. But without further ado, we are going to bring the man, the myth, the legend, our VIP of today's program.
Hey.
Stage. Without further ado, welcome Randy Engstrom.
Woo!
Hi, Randy. How's it going?
Welcome.
It's a little overwhelming. Ken Workman knocked me back on my heels a little bit. I love that guy. I miss that guy. Yeah, I'm good. It's emotional and it's beautiful and it's powerful.
Awesome. Well, Randy, we would love for you to just have the floor for a few minutes and share with us how you're feeling at this moment of transition.
Yeah, thanks, Hollis, and thanks, Priya, and thanks for making time. I think there's really three things that have been coming up for me these last few months as I try to figure out how to cross into the next part of my life that is to come. One is just incredible gratitude from Hollis and Priya to Ken and Tim and Davida, and like just the incredible reflection I've been able to see of the work that we have all collectively been doing these last 8.5 years, and to see its impact locally for sure, but also nationally in a way that was surprising to me. I just feel humbled. I feel really grateful. I feel so appreciative that folks took a chance on me, took a chance on believing in my leadership, and took a chance on stepping into the unknown with me. And I hope that other people got as much out of it as I did, because it changed my life. I also have a lot of clarity about the urgency of the moment that we're in as a sector, as a city, as a country. It is a scary time right now, and there is no way to undersell the fierce urgency of the moment. But I think that's tempered by a simultaneous sense of incredible hopefulness and possibility. I feel like as I watched the inaugural on the 20th last week, it was like watching an infomercial for the value and power of arts and culture. And, you know, when I heard Amanda Gorman say that our country's not broken, it's just unfinished, I think I'm really with that. I think I really believe that we have work to do, but it is by trusting in our cultural workers and our creatives and our storytelling that we can actually make a different reality. We can actually make a different set of conditions that govern our lives. We can affect the institutions that hold us. And I think that, if we're trying to think about the way we're going to recover culturally, economically, and civically, I really think this is a moment where our artists and our creatives can be at the center of that movement. And I'm really looking forward, as I leave the city and go into the great beyond, at lifting up the voices of the folks who are doing that work, lifting up and evangelizing the power and the value of culture and creativity to imagine a better tomorrow and to imagine a better way we can be with each other. So yeah, I think it is an awareness of how real things are, and also knowing this is our time. This is the next New Deal moment, not just for the cultural sector, but for the country. And I feel very compelled to step into that.
Love that, Randy. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think you have always been an expansive leader, both in the way that you see structures and organizations and refusing to see things hierarchically, but also understanding that it's broader and bigger than what's in front of us. And I love that charge that you have and that inspiration. We have such amazing answers to our prompt that I can only feature a couple. But I think that, the love is coming in from everywhere. I wanted to especially feature this from Lulu Carpenter. Thank you, Randy, for showing me how to build community at Youngstown and explaining arts policy in a way that makes sense. I think that's super real. Caitlin says, Randy has made me realize as a white person how much more courageous I might be in advancing racial justice without false modesty, but still with humility. Yes, we have from Surface, just going to put it out here. Randy hired me, it lifted me out of poverty, not being able to buy food every day, housing insecurity. My life has completely transformed. And then from Julia Reed, Randy made me think expansively about what government can do through the arts to change lives for the better. That's you, Randy. You did that.
Man, yeah, wow. Thank you.
I'd like to see it. Absolutely. All right. So without further ado, Priya, I would love if you would introduce our next speaker.
Yes, I would love to. It is now my true honor to introduce one of my favorite people in the entire world, and someone who's an incredible mentor to myself, to Randy, and probably to many of you that are with us today. Vivian Phillips is a native of Seattle and a former Seattle Arts Commissioner. She's a communications professional and longtime civic arts leader, manager, and advocate. Vivian, thank you so much for being here to help us reflect on the past and honor Randy.
Here. Okay, there we go. I am so delighted to be here, and I did not think I would be emotional, but after listening to Tim and C. Davida Ingram and that incredible song from Pac, who I love, and also Ken Workman, I had to say I'm a little bit of emotions are kind of welling up, but I'm so excited and so thrilled to share a few words about my friend Randy, who is kind of the Papa Bear of Seattle's arts community. I think that's what's come through so far. And what's so important to me, Randy, is that we are ending your tenure with the city of Seattle the exact same way we started it, as friends. 8 years ago, when you shared with me your intention to accept this offer, I knew then that you would be the absolute right person for the job. The reason I knew that is because you were asking all of the right questions, all of the questions that would help you navigate through a path that passed through all of that existing muck that was actually going on at the time and be able to find a way to get to successes. I think few people have the distinguished honor of having served under 5 mayors in 8 years. It might have been 6 mayors, but I counted 5 officially. And through the turmoil, you kept your head. You did not rub a bald spot into your hair that I'm aware of. And you always maintained the focus and vision for Seattle's arts community. It's been said already, but your heart for equity always took the front seat in every conversation and in all of your deeds, both locally and nationally. And a thing to be admired is the fact that you are genuine in your heart for fair and equitable recognition of artists of all shades, particularly those who are members of communities that have been intentionally pushed aside. I think that the first time I heard a statement from a city representative that articulated the fact that some of Seattle's communities had been intentionally and also legally marginalized came from you. And you set about the work of fighting hard to make legislative and resource corrections. During my 6 years on the Seattle Arts Commission with you on the team, I felt as if I was in a true partnership. You were able to release the time-worn process at the city of starting from a position of no, and you exampled what it looked like if opportunity stayed at the forefront. Can arts lead the city in equity policy? Yes. Can arts secure 100% of admission taxes to fund equity initiatives? Yes. Can arts secure King Street Station to create a physical hub for arts? Yes, indeed. Can arts lead the charge for making significant changes in the way our local economy recognizes the contributions of practicing artists outside of the tech field? Absolutely, yes. Can the necessary time and resources be invested to achieve community leadership to develop a new arts and culture nonprofit, Langston? Yes. Can arts and cultural districts become a guiding force for community-based arts engagement? Yes. These are just a few of the things that I note that show your leadership and how you can come from a position of yes to actually make change in policy. So I want to say to you that you have been a living, breathing example of what it looks like when arts and creativity is allowed to be centered in the city and in the lives we all lead. So Randy, these are all of the ways in which various members of my family refer to you as an extended family member. You, Jocelyn, and Nevi will always be a part of my family. You all have supported us through tumultuous and celebratory times, and that won't change. I just want to say thank you for helping me to grow in my arts leadership skills. And thank you for being a good partner in causing good trouble. Thank you for being the best working happy hour friend I ever had. And I just want to send you love, kisses, and wishes for all that you are going to accomplish in the future. You know, I got some stuff for you to do. But first, I want to raise a glass and say thank you to my friend, Randy Engstrom. Thanks.
Yay, Vivian. Thank you for your fabulous words, Vivian. You are getting so much love in the chat, I have to say. You know, we got some out here snapping my fingers. We got some thank you for highlighting the yeses. And I love what you said in terms of like operating from a position of yes. That is so true, so Randy. I love it.
Thank you, Vivian.
We love you, Vivian. Thank you for being so dope.
I love you all. Thank you so much.
We'll see you at the after party. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to transition. Thanks again so much for you all who are joining us. We have basically 150 people in the room right now. Obviously, we wish we could be IRL all together, but we're feeling the love. Keep dropping some love in the chat. We're seeing all of the comments. And it's exciting now that Vivian just kind of framed for us all of the stuff that Randy has navigated and actualized in his tenure as a director. We're actually looking ahead, and in addition to Randy getting some much needed rest and chill time with the fam, much like Randy would do, he's already thinking ahead to what his legacy project will be. So Randy, I'm going to give you the floor now to introduce our next speaker and talk more about Hope Corps.
Thanks, Hollis. And Miss Vivian, I can never be the Papa Bear of the arts community because I think, as Marcy Silman has often said, you are the art czar. So if I'm doing it right by your account, then I'm doing it right. I started my relationship with Seattle Foundation in this job in early 2013 when, bless her heart, Fidelma McGinn took a very frantic Friday night phone call at about 5:15. And our arts education partnership with Seattle Public Schools, the Creative Advantage, which is extremely close to my heart, shout out to Lara Davis, had lost its fiscal sponsor. We had been working with an organization called Poncho, which had a long history of fundraising, and they were going to be our fundraising partner and our fiscal sponsor. And they had to close their doors. And we were announcing the initiative on like the following Monday or Tuesday. And Fidelma agreed, and the Seattle Foundation agreed to be the fiscal sponsor and establish a donor advised fund for the Creative Advantage at the Seattle Foundation. That relationship has only grown over time. our commitment to young people, our commitment to culture, our commitment to racial equity, and the Creative Equity Fund. And it is with the foundation, with Tony and Seal and everyone's support, that we're really excited to announce our next partnership, where we can take what we've learned from Creative Advantage and the Creative Equity Fund and really think about this opportunity we have to finish our unfinished business as a community. And that's with a concept called Hope Corps. So I'll turn it over to Tony now, and then I'll come back and explain a little bit more about what it is.
Thank you for your leadership, Randy. As you close this chapter and begin the next, I just want to express the gratitude of Seattle Foundation, all of our team, and the community that we serve together in appreciating the leadership that you've brought to Seattle. You know, starting with Creative Equity Fund, you've done so much to help us build strategies to dismantle structural racism, to fight for racial justice, and also support the arts and culture segment in general. And in addition to that, you've really helped Seattle Foundation learn how to be a better partner in supporting the creatives in our region, both the individuals and the institutions that do so much to make Seattle a vibrant and strong place for all. So now we turn our sights to a new effort, an exciting one that you've been so instrumental in building and now working to get support for, and that's Hope Corps, and how Hope Corps can really help creatives and the skills that they bring contribute to not only supporting the arts and culture segment, but also supporting all of Seattle's economic revitalization. You've left a tremendous legacy. You should be very proud. We've been honored to work with you. We've learned so much with you. And we also know that the team you've built and the partnership you've built with Seattle Foundation will endure and grow far after you are gone doing your next thing. So our sincere thanks, Randy. My sincere thanks. Be well.
Tony Mestres, great guy. And huge shout out to the work that Seattle Foundation has done during COVID. I think that Aaron Robertson and Chris Hermans and the team there, Michelle Fricks, has really done an incredible job meeting the needs that are most urgent and also trying to think long term. And I think this opportunity with Hope Corps, I hope, is a piece of that puzzle for the long-term recovery and reimagination of our communities. So if you've heard me talk on the internet in the last year, you've heard me start with this anecdote, and that is that the Office of Arts and Culture was chartered in 1971 by 34-year-old Mayor Wes Ullman during the worst recession in Seattle's history. In that year, 65,000 employees, 65% of Boeing's workforce at the time, was laid off, and a billboard went up next to Boeing Field that said, "Will the last person out of Seattle please turn out the lights?" And when Wes Ullman was asked why you would start a local arts agency in the context of the worst economic catastrophe the city's ever faced, he said, "Because we have to give people hope." And my experience, in particular over this last year, has been that that has never been more true. We have to give people hope. And so we looked back through history and we looked at the New Deal and we looked at the Works Progress Administration and we looked at the CETA initiative in the 70s, and we said, what if we could take resources, invest them in the creative workers that have been disproportionately impacted by COVID, and redeploy them to meet all these needs that have emerged as a result of the pandemic and the racial justice uprising and the economic collapse? What if we could hire teaching artists to meet the needs of our young people who are struggling so much with distance learning? What if we could use the work of artists to foster belonging and social cohesion? The civic poet Claudia Castro Luna said in her first poem at the Mayor's Arts Awards a number of years ago, "Seattle is a house and everyone who lives here belongs here." How do we help people belong? How do we help people feel connected when we're forced to stay home and apart? I think this is where our artists and our creative community can be transformational. We can be a vehicle, not just to meet the urgent needs of right now, but we can be a down payment on the community and the city we want to have going forward. So if we're going to be serious about cultural, economic, and civic recovery, if we're going to not be broken but be unfinished, I think we could really stand to benefit by investing in the artists who I think can actually help us find our way out of these woods. And we're going to go back to where we started. Within the Creative Advantage Donor Advised Fund at Seattle Foundation, we're going to set up a Hope Corps fund. And we're going to use these resources to fund artists who have been impacted by COVID so that they can meet in cohorts, they can meet these needs that have so clearly impacted the community. It's not an original idea. It's like a 100-year-old idea, but it feels really resonant for the moment that we're in. I'm really grateful that Tony and his team were willing to partner with us on this. And I think this is a moment that's not just limited to Seattle. I think this is a conversation that we're going to be having nationally. So if you want to show your appreciation in whatever way makes sense to you for the 8.5 years I spent in this job, I would ask you to pay that forward. I would ask you to contribute to the Hope Corps project so that we can, in particular, resource teaching artists so that they can meet our young people who are being impacted in so many different ways by this pandemic. And I think we can connect them to workforce development opportunities. We can connect them to opportunities and career pathways for the next economy that I think would really benefit all of us. So there's a lot more to come about Hope Corps. It's an emergent idea, but I'm really excited about it. And I feel like as we have an administration that feels very serious about COVID relief, but also infrastructure and COVID recovery, I'd like to see creativity, culture, the creative economy be at the center of that strategy. I think we have the skills and capability to do it. I think we have the partners in the room and around the table, and I hope that we all get to walk across that field together. So that's what I'll say about Hope Corps. It's emergent. We're figuring it out.
Exquisitely said, Randy. People are energized. People are excited. As I said in my comments, I think that this is the actualization of your vision that has been driving your policy work. And the reason why you're passionate about working in government is because you really understand creative ingenuity being essential to civic growth and civic evolution. And I love that contrast of not broken, unfinished. I think it really speaks to, the opportunity that we have before us. Yeah. So folks are curious, how can we plug in? Is there a way, or are we too emergent right now for there to be a call to action besides following you on Twitter at Randy Engstrom?
I don't know I don't know where you're following me to on Twitter. It's kind of an endless cycle of thoughts and feelings. But no, I think the office is really building a team around this concept. It's going to be working with a ton of community partners. I think that we'll be setting up a link through the Office of Arts and Culture's website, seattle.gov/arts, and we'll be building the backend infrastructure at Seattle Foundation. We are still building the scaffolding that's going to hold it up. But since this was like sort of my last day in the job, I wanted to sort of put a flag in the ground and say that in the next couple of weeks, we're going to see this move really quickly, because I think we're going to see the federal infrastructure and the federal response move really quickly. And we have to be positioned for it and we have to be ready for it. So I would say email the Office of Arts and Culture if you arts.culture@seattle.gov. If you want to be involved, there are limitless ways to be involved. There is really no ceiling to how much could be done through this concept. I mean, the Works Progress Administration employed thousands and thousands of people and left indelible marks that are still present today in this country 100 years later, almost 100 years later. So yeah, it's still to come, but you can definitely reach out to the office. They're going to be the holders of that concept.
Totally makes sense. So thank you. And thanks everybody for your interest. Thank you for making it an incredibly compelling pitch. I will absolutely invest as in honor of your legacy. And to that end, I'm really excited for us to bring on a segment of performance from young performers who are themselves youth in community as well as teaching artists. That, is the passion of Randy to understand why creative education, creative advantage, and really fostering a multi-generational thriving community is so important. So without further ado, I will introduce here Cipher Goings and Sharmaine to perform for us today.
My name is Cipher Goings, and I am a dancer, choreographer, and teaching artist at the Northwest Tap Connection. I began dancing at Northwest Tap Connection when I was 7 years old, and I will be 20 in the month of February. More than ever, right now, it is so important to support your local community artists. Right now, in the times of the pandemic, a lot of artists are not getting many teaching gigs or performing gigs, and they're creating things virtually. So do things like share, comment, support financially, any way that you can, your local artist. It is so important because joy is needed more than ever in this crazy time. I will be presenting my piece, which I created in the pandemic, to just highlight tranquility amidst all of the chaos that is going on in the world right now. Thank you and enjoy.
I know we are all here to celebrate a wonderful man, whether you've known him for a split second like I have, or have known him for years. I just want to personally thank you, Randy, for supporting my voice and always being welcoming every time we cross paths. I hope whatever is next for you is just as supportive and just as welcoming as you have been to the community around you. So without further ado, I'll be singing Home, which is a song that I made at Totem Star. And it is about breaking through tough times and reassuring yourself that you have the power to get out of any situation that you don't want to be in. Thank you guys for having me again, and I hope you enjoy.
Screaming became a language in this house, a lie, hoping one day we'd find a way out, a lie. one day we figure it out. We've been through so many battles, people don't know. They don't. No, they don't. No. We've been hiding in the shadows for so long. So long. Why be afraid? You can't escape all the pain you go through each and every day. Use it as gold. Use what you know. Don't be incarcerated in a place called home. Here I am, unafraid, standing tall. I'm gonna walk away. Here I am, unafraid, standing tall. I'm gonna walk They don't know about it. Nah. They don't know about it. They don't know about it. Nah. They don't know. Oh, they don't know. They don't know about it.
Wow. Thank you so much to Cipher and Sharmaine for those incredible performances. I know they both really hit me. I wasn't ready, but what an incredible tribute, and just such an example of what we were talking about in terms of the future of the arts. We have so much to be proud of here in Seattle, and all of the different ways in which we can support and cultivate the future artists in Seattle. So we want to know, for you all, what are your hopes for the future of the arts in Seattle? If you can just hit that in the chat comments, we would love to hear from you about that. Hollis, are we up next?
Yeah, we sure are. We're actually going to be bringing in a couple more speakers
Great.
before our
Okay,
final.
so I would actually, Hollis, are you shook from that or what?
No, I'm flabbergasted. Well, I mean, to be honest, because I got to book the talent, so I want to see these incredibly powerful performances. But yes, please, thank you. Shout out to Cipher, shout out to Sharmaine. And I just love what Cipher said at the beginning in terms of, like that continuity and that continuum, which I felt as well from being a youth artist, being cultivated by Seattle organizations to becoming a teaching artist yourself. Like that was my trajectory, and that's what got me started. So it was really, really beautiful to see that. But yeah, Priya, I'd love if you could introduce our next speaker.
Yes, I wanted to introduce a very special friend who I had the privilege of co-chairing the Seattle Arts Commission with last year. Dr. Quinton Morris is a Renton native and the co-chair of the Seattle Arts Commission. He's also a music professor at Seattle University, the executive director and founder of Key to Change, and the artist, scholar, in residence at Classical King FM. So that's Dr. Quinton Morris. And in addition, you'll be hearing from the fabulous Sharon Williams of the Central District Forum for Arts and Ideas and former Seattle Arts Commissioner, as well as a message from Gail and Audrey from Seattle Public Schools. Thank you all so much.
Hi, I'm Dr. Quinton Morris, co-chair of the Seattle Arts Commission. This is a very special day to celebrate the tremendous contributions that our friend Randy Engstrom has given to not only the arts community, but the greater city of Seattle. Like so many of you who are watching this video, I'm sure you are feeling an array of emotions. Happiness and joy, of course, for Randy, who is stepping towards a new chapter in his life. And of course, sadness, because Randy, who is always around and always been there when you need him, won't be readily available, at least not in the arts office as our director. But never fear, for I know Randy will certainly be around in the community, still engaged and offering his wisdom, just now as a private citizen. I've had the opportunity to work with Randy on various projects. I could go on and talk about the enormous list of activities that he has engaged in over the years, from creating and launching the Creative Advantage to acquiring King Street Station, assisting Langston and becoming a nonprofit organization, or creating cultural space in our city to nurture and protect neighborhoods. As much as he has done to help our community thrive, I admire you, Randy, because of your generous heart, your courageous spirit, and you always approach your work from a place of care. Like this summer, when our nation was finally awakened to the racial injustices that the Black community has been facing for the last 400 years. It was imperative that the Arts Commission and the Arts Office act and respond to the hurt that our community have been facing. I gained more respect for you, Randy, when you stopped to actively listen to what people were saying and what was going on around you. You never have been one to shy away from having those difficult conversations about race. And you constantly keep the topic in the forefront of people's minds of how to approach their work from a social justice, equity, and anti-racism lens. You and I both know you don't have to do that, but you choose to do that. And that takes guts and heart. And I see you like so many others. Randy, thank you so much for the invaluable contributions that you have made to our city. We are a better, more vibrant, creative, extraordinary arts community because of you. So many people look up to you that you will never meet. My friend, thank you for inspiring me and so many others. You will be missed, but your contributions will never be forgotten. And if there's ever a time where you think you may forget, don't you worry. I'll remind you, because you and I are neighbors, and I'll come knock on your door. My friend, all the best to you. I'm proud of you.
Hey, Randy, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for believing in me for when I first took the position as the executive director for the CD Forum. Thank you for telling me I could do it when I was first named to the Seattle Arts Commission. Thank you for always sharing your wisdom and your strategic mind with me. Thank you for letting me know that there was no dumb question. Thank you for asking, why can't we do that? All we can do is ask for it. Thank you for being the sharpest dressed person in the room. Thank you for always being an advocate for Black arts. Thank you for showing me how to bring together community, city government, arts, and culture. Thank you for being you. I love, respect, and appreciate you, and I wish you all the best in this next chapter because I know it's going to be fierce. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace and love. Bye.
We are here on behalf of all of Seattle Public Schools. I, Gail Selhorst.
And I, Audrey Querns.
To thank you, Randy, for your leadership, your partnership, and your service to the students in our schools. Seattle Public Schools and the Office of Arts and Culture have been partnering since 2007, and together we have created the Creative Advantage. And we are about to give you a tour of the growth and expansion of our initiative together.
86 Creative Advantage schools.
Hired 77 new arts teachers.
More than doubled the number of music and art programs.
1.4 million in arts partnerships for 10,000 students.
Created the Media Arts Skills Center.
And created the first ever regional arts festival serving 400 students.
And procured more than $1 million in grants.
Thank you,
Randy.
Yeah. I love that so much.
That was so great. I love that. Randy, we're bringing you back on to appreciate that because that was iconic.
That had to have been in Georgetown because those planes were fierce.
The revenge of growing industry. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Gail and Audrey, for your comments, as well as Sharon, your beautiful heartfelt comments, and obviously Dr. Quinton Morris, an orator, a performer, a legend,
of course,
serving it to us. Thank you, Dr. Quinton Morris, for your leadership as co-chair of the Seattle Arts Commission, and for that heartfelt tribute. Randy, how you feeling? Just checking in really quick. How we doing?
I am like trying real hard to hold it together. I know I still have some more speaking parts, but like, it is so humbling, and it's also so like it's authentic, right? Like we are. I've been thinking a lot about like the work versus the job, and I'm leaving the job, but I'm never leaving the work. And I know that like to a person, every person that's been on this YouTube stream tonight are all people I will continue to be in relationship with in one form or another. Yeah. But it's incredibly humbling. And I'm just breathing through it. I'm practicing my breathing, you know?
You better breathe. Well, I just want to feature some of these comments to our prompt really quick because they're gorgeous. Melissa Knowles says, my hope is that the arts will guide and steward our culture into a new era of connection, reciprocity, and responsibility for our past, present, and future. I'm obsessed with this comment. I want to see entire skyscrapers downtown teeming with artists living and working. This is the kind. Yes. I want to redefine luxury. Just spinning off of that. Just me. I'm like, I want to redefine luxury living to be actually like the luxury of creatives creating. So I love this, Pete. Thank you so much for sharing that. I wanted to share from Andres, creativity and arts are at the center of recovery and reimagination. Youth artists empowered to see themselves to lead that recovery, and that art continues to be the great connector. This is from Michael Greer. Arts Fund's hope is to see the community continue to thrive artistically, financially, and culturally, to create a reimagined arts and culture space on the other side of this pandemic. I think that's so beautiful. I love this comment too. Arts helps us heal. As we reimagine our city's future post-COVID, we will need artists and art to help us recover and move forward. Keep supporting local arts and artists. Keep Randy's work going.
Yes.
Keep it going. We love to see it. Awesome. Well, to that end, wouldn't be us if we weren't running a little bit over time. So we were trying to end this at a smooth 5 p.m., but I am seeing that that's not going to be the case. So we're going to run a little bit over, but we have an incredible performance lined up from Ahamefule J. Oluo, who gave us some exclusive bits of his composition, his latest full-length show, Susan. And so he is going to be introducing himself. But before we bring that to light, Randy, I would love for you to speak a little bit about why he is such a significant artist to you and why you wanted him to be the closer of today's event.
Yeah. Anyone who spends a lot of time with me knows that my family and I have a massive affinity for the city of New Orleans. And there was a period of time earlier in this job when we did, like, for different reasons, like 3 or 4 trips to New Orleans. And by the last trip, we were like looking at houses and being courted by the city. And, we had really fallen in love with the place. And when I came back to Seattle, Jaws and I went and saw Now I'm Fine at On the Boards. And I think I cried through the whole show because I was reminded why I love this city and how connected I feel to it. And it was through Aham's both like production and curation and music and comedy, but like I saw in that show the thing I wanted to fight for in this place. And I don't know that Aham knows like what a powerful impact that had on me, but I knew in that show that I was ride or die for this place. I feel like I've known that for a long time, but you find a city as magical as New Orleans and you're like, maybe that could, but Aham as an artist and that show, both Now I'm Fine and Susan, to me represent the Seattle we're capable of being and the Seattle that I want to invest in, advocate for, and evangelize.
Hey everyone, this is Ahamefule J. Oluo. I'm an artist here in Seattle. I'm getting outside while it's not raining. I hope everyone is staying safe. I've been an artist in the city for pretty much my entire adult life, and for the majority of that time, Randy Engstrom has been such a force for good in the art community of Seattle. And while it's sad to see him leave the city of Seattle in this official role, I'm so excited to see what he does next. I'm honored to be presenting pieces of work for Randy's farewell. We're presenting a couple of pieces that are from my stage show Susan, which premiered in Seattle in January of 2020. And these 2 pieces, they were filmed during the rehearsal for that premiere in January of 2020. And then shortly after that, we went into lockdown and everything that we had planned went away, and suddenly those videos became a glimpse into a world that no longer existed, and they're really special to me. And I really hope you enjoy them, and I wish the best for Randy, and I wish the best for all of you. Thank you very much.
together. We were a paradise long ago. Now I am riding the wind out here on my own. The sky holds me as I renege.
When you left me with so many reasons for taking every breath and giving my life brand new meaning. I was afraid, but now I know that there is me, myself, and I am not alone. Not
Wow.
Unbelievable performances. Thank you so much, Ahamefule J, Oluo, the entire cast of Susan, particularly those incredible vocal performances from Okan Momode and Tiffany Wilson, two of Seattle's finest. You know they had to bring
Mind blown.
it. Dying, like chills on chills on chills. It is such sadness that we cannot feel that live IRL, but so thankful that they filmed their rehearsals so that we could experience it here. Absolutely.
What a beautiful, beautiful way to end this program.
Randy, how you doing over there?
A small I told you so about that performance. Because it's like life-giving. I'm so grateful, you guys. What a privilege that I've been able to like be in community with all of this and be in this role for the time that I have. I don't know. Am I allowed to do a few thank yous?
Yeah, please. This is your time. No, take the floor. You know what? It's the sign of a good event that it's running over, frankly. So thanks
right?
for y'all. We got 165 people tapped in on both YouTube and Facebook. Thank you all so much for showing up and coming through for Randy. And these videos are going to be up. The chat's going to be up because the chat's lit. And honestly, Randy, before you start with your I just had to highlight this Audra. I'm just talking about I need to get a floor at the official Randy Engstrom Artist Towers. So
yes.
I know Hope Core is the vision, but I think the vision afterwards is the Randy Engstrom Artist Towers.
Well, real talk, we're going to have a lot of available space in this city. So let's talk about how we creatively reimagine that space to do what it needs to do or can do for our community.
I love it. So Randy, please take the floor and close us out.
It is such a dangerous idea to try to do thank yous at something like this, but there are a few people that I have to thank, period. First, foremost, and forever, my wife, my best friend, my partner, the person who like held me up when I was in my hardest moments in this job and in my whole life. Jocelyn, I love you. I could not have done this without you. Robert Nellums, who's a mentor of mine, shout out to Robert Nellums, shared something with me last night that one of his staff said when they left, that like the city gets the best of me and my family gets the rest of me. And I hope that wasn't true, but I think there's something about when you give of yourself to a job that you care so much about, the folks who hold you up the most can sometimes not get what they deserve. And I hope that I can give you and Nevi what you deserve. And Nevi is the sun in the sky and the absolute light of my life. And I'm so happy and blessed that I have you guys as a family. I also, there were three people that I called between when I got offered this job and when I took it. And all three of those people are very important to me. One is my mom. I love you, Mom. Thank you. Mostly I just wanted to tell you I was going to take this job. One was Davita Russell, who has been a mentor to me for so much of my life and been such a huge part of the office's work, in particular the work around Langston. So thank you, Davita. And one was Miss Vivian Phillips, who gave me a very unvarnished opinion of what working for city government would be. She was right. Also, it was great. And I probably wouldn't have been successful without her partnership. So thank you, Vivian. I also could not have done this job without Calandra Childers. Calandra was at the office when I started. She was the communications manager. She became my deputy director maybe a year into the job, and I've never had a partner in work in the way that I've had with Calandra. She's also now the director of the office as of 6 minutes ago. You are in good hands. She is brilliant and collaborative, and one of the steadiest, most thoughtful, most empathetic people I've ever met. Thank you, Calandra, for being my partner in this job. I could not have done it without you. There was one person I sat down and had coffee with an hour before my first interview, and that person was Tim Lennon. And in that conversation, I realized that there was a multiverse of ways that this job could be approached and what government was actually capable of. And both as collaborators in city government, in friendship, in life, in Langston, and now in trying to make sure that arts can help save the world. Thank you, Tim, for being that person. And thank you to Roberto Bedoya, the original rabble-rouser, the original advocate for justice in the cultural sector, a mentor who made a lot of space for me. I love my Goldenrod people. I love my Third Way Creative. I'm so grateful to you, Hollis and Priya, for holding this space. I'm overwhelmed. I'm glad that Caitlin and Steve are watching this in New Orleans for the New Orleans reference, and more to come. Like, this isn't over. This is just the break where we go to the next thing. So thank you all so much for being here and giving me your Friday night.
Beautiful.
Hollis, I think you're muted. You're muted, honey.
Right. That would be that's very pandemic, right? You'd be like,
so I'm drunk, I am intoxicated.
Okay.
And inspired.
You are intoxicated. Yes, with the power of our arts community, we are 170 people strong here today. So
man,
we lift
Randy,
our glass
you
to
should
Randy.
quit every week, man.
Oh shoot, I know. I'm like, can we do this every week? Can we do this every month?
I know.
Let's go. So wherever you're at, whatever you're drinking, please raise a glass. That's hydration or celebration. And thank you so much, Randy, for your tenure. Thank you so much to all of you who tapped in. We can't do this without each other. And even though we are isolated from each other physically, it means so much that we're here together spiritually and emotionally. I think with all of the performances and all of the words we've seen tonight, the power of arts is undeniable, is essential, is at the core of everything we do, and all the possibility and the hope that's for us and here now. So thank you so much. And actually, before we go, we're going to say goodbye in this little quadrant, this little Brady Brunch moment before, but we have an encore performance from your daughter, Randy. So here it is.
Believe it and dream it. Anything is possible. Just believe it and dream it. You can be anything you want. Just have to try.
Thanks for quitting your job.
Thank you.
Nevy and Jaws. Come on now. You
So that's the future of Seattle Arts right there, y'all. That's what that is. Any last words, Priya, Vivian, Randy, before we wrap this up?
Well, Randy.
Yes.
Happy hour, baby. I haven't had a happy hour in like 2 years now, because none compared to the happy hours that we used to have. And so I'm looking forward to that. But listen, in all sincerity, I just want to say to you that I'm so glad that you spent the time that you did spend at the city of Seattle, because I think you absolutely changed the trajectory of what arts could do and what the possibilities could be. And I think you've infected, if that's a real, okay term right now, a lot of city government. And I just salute you and I love you. You will always be a part of my family and my heart. Cheers, boo.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thank you all so much for joining us.
Everyone.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you, Priya, for co-hosting with me, Vivian for being brilliant, Randy for being the star of the show, the reason why we're all here. Thank you so much for your service, for your leadership. And we know that we have not seen the last of you by any means. Everybody, if you want to support, please follow Randy on Twitter. I know that he doesn't want it, but it's the right thing to do. And it'll be more effective than
it'll make me better at it.
That's what I'm talking about.
And
So
all the artists. And all the artists that
Oh yes, yeah. I dropped those in the chat. Sharmaine, Cipher, but just follow Randy Engstrom at Randy Engstrom on Twitter, and I will make sure personally that when Hope Corps is ready to receive the funds and receive the support, that he will have that tweet pinned. So stand by and all of that. But we thank you so much for joining us today, and we send you so much love. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and thank you so much, Randy, for your service.
We love you, Randy. Cheers.
Bye.